Hi, welcome to the 5 ways to grow your sales. This is a simple overview of the 5 ways that you can work on every single day, every single week to grow your sales. It is simple, it's effective, and it's brilliant. This is a system that was developed by a guy called Brad Sugars, who's a Brisbane boy who's gone over to the States and run a really huge business. The interesting thing about this is it's a formula, and it's a formula which is relevant to a tiny one-man business, a 50-person business, or a massive conglomerate. It's the chassis underneath every single business, and they all operate this exact same way. It's nice and simple. Let me show you. The very first thing that most of us want is clients. We want to attract clients. We want clients to come in. We want them to buy our stuff. And when they buy our stuff, what we end up with is revenue, sales. They buy our stuff and we have revenue. Now, when we have products and services and we deal with the margins really well, what we need to keep our businesses growing and thriving is profit. But you know what? These 3 things don't just happen in isolation. There are 5 key drivers which make these things happen. And we're going to look really briefly at what those drivers are. So these are the 5 ways to grow your sales. The very first one is leads. Now, what is leads about? Leads obviously is about new business. It's about marketing, right? So it's about marketing and generating new business, new to what you already have, right? So these are fresh leads. These are people that don't already know about you. These are people that don't know they need you, but you could really help. Okay, the second in our 5 ways is our conversion rate. Now, this is all about sales. It's about how you take someone who inquires about what you do and convert them into a client. Now, at this point, really what you've done is you've generated an inquiry, right? They haven't purchased anything from you. So it's not until you take them through your sales process that they actually convert. So once you've got your leads, it's actually a formula. You need to multiply the leads times your sales process in order to get your clients. Let's have a look at that. If you've got 100 leads come in and you have a 10% conversion rate, then you're looking at 10 clients. Now, if we can improve that conversion rate just by the smallest amount, let's say instead of a conversion rate of 10%, we can actually do a conversion rate of 20% without doing any more work on the leads, well, now we've doubled our clients, haven't we? We've got 20 clients. So that's why this formula is so important. Generating the leads via marketing activity, having a really effective sales process is what gives you the amount of clients. Now, once we've got the clients, we need to work on a couple of extra things. Let's have a look at what we can do to make a real difference. The third one is that we need to improve their number of transactions. A client is someone who buys from you once, but a customer is someone who buys from you continuously. So looking at how we improve the number of transactions is a really strong factor in generating your sales. Now, the next one is to actually increase the average dollar sale. Now, if we can increase the average dollar sale, and yes, I know I've spelt that incorrectly. If we can increase the average dollar sale by the smallest amount, then we will have a huge impact on our revenue. Now we have our clients. And the definition of a client is that they've bought from you once. A customer is someone who buys from you again and again and again. And in order to create a customer, this is where great revenue comes from. And we need to work on 2 main factors: the number of times they transact with us and the amount of money they spend with us. So if we can move them from purchasing once to purchasing twice, we've doubled the number of transactions. And if we can take their average dollar sale up just by 10%, then we've got a massive increase in revenue. So if we've got 20 clients who purchase from us once a year and they spend $1,000, we have 20K of income. But if we can get them to purchase twice in a year, now we've just doubled to 40,000. Simple, isn't it? But not only that, but if we can get them to increase how much they spend, let's say we can get an extra 20% on what they spend. So they're actually spending $1,200. Well, now you can see that we are really starting to compound. So what we're looking at is how can we get more transactions? So our clients times the number of transactions times the average dollar sale equals our revenue. Now, I hope that you can see that if you just make small improvements in your leads, small improvements in your conversion rate, small improvements in your number of transactions, and small improvements in your average dollar sale, what you will find is a massive increase in your revenue. In fact, if you just make 10% in each of these areas, you will find that you are looking at 64% increase in revenue. That's just 10% in each of these. Now, 10% is not very difficult. Could we take a $1,000 sale up to $1,100 sale? Yeah, absolutely. Could we get someone to transact just 10% more than they already do? Could we generate 10% more leads? And could we generate a better sales conversion by just 10%? Yep, if that's the case, you are looking at a 64% increase because of the compounding effect of this on your revenue. Now, let's just get a little crazy for a moment, and let's say you could do 50% better on your leads. Let's say you could do 30% better on your conversion rate. Let's say you could double the amount of transactions that your clients, and let's say you could increase that by 40%. What kind of difference does that make? It's massive when you start to add all of that up. So this is a very, very effective and simple way of improving your sales. Now, what I want to show you is the fifth way, and that is the margins. Right? When we can work, once we've got our revenue, when we can work on our margins, this is where our profitability comes in. And the profitability is so important. There are two ways to do this. That is to reduce our costs, and frankly, that's pretty difficult to do, or increase our sale price. Now, in most markets, that's very difficult to do. However, you may have some product lines that you'll be able to do that with. But for that reason, for the reason that this is sometimes quite difficult to do, I want you to focus on these areas. So if we can focus on getting more leads, if we can focus on improving the conversion of those leads, if we can focus on improving the number of transactions, and if we can focus on improving the average dollar sale, then we have a massive improvement in your sales. And you know what? You're not working on stuff that is trivial or that isn't making an impact. Just putting one strategy in here, one new tactic can improve it by 10%. One new tactic in here seems to improve sales by between 15 and 30%. One new strategy in here seems to improve by about 20 to 30% as well. And you know what? It's pretty easy to increase the average dollar sale because most people are only focusing on the one thing that customer really wants. Your job there is all about education, educating your clients about what other services you have. And when you do that, we actually find that it doubles the amount of money which clients spend because they don't know what else you've got. massive, massive benefits from implementing just one strategy. Now, my question to you is, where in this equation are you already really good? And where, if you just implemented one new strategy, could you make the biggest improvement? Welcome to the 5 Ways.